What endings in your life have been the hardest to accept? What endings in your life have been the hardest to accept? How do you respond when something is out of your control? How do you respond when something is out of your control? What stories about failure or pain do you carry with you? What stories about failure or pain do you carry with you? What does it feel like to release something you've been holding on to? What does it feel like to release something you've been holding on to? If you haven't already, just take a moment to reflect yourself. Sometimes I feel like my energy is all scattered across the room. Maybe you just call that in and call that down. See if you can just drop into your seat, into your body a little bit more than you are. And bring your attention to the surface that you're sitting on. Noticing how it gives into your weight, or if it doesn't, if you're sitting on a hard surface. Just notice that point of contact. Or if you're standing, you may instead bring your attention to your feet. If you're laying down, you will instead bring your attention to whatever part of your body is making contact with the surface that is supporting you right now. And again, see if there's some way you can give up a little bit more of your weight into that surface. Allowing the earth, the surface that's supporting you, to support you fully. Maybe imagining the effort is still moving through your skin and your aura, imagining that melting down to the earth. Whatever energy has kept you animated and motivated throughout the day to hold yourself up and to move, let's just let that relax.
Sorry, Kim, it's a bit quiet again.
Oh,
Your voice.
I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Next, bring your attention to your breath. Just notice if your breath is shallow or deep. Just notice whatever qualities are there. There's no need to breathe in any certain way. Maybe notice what parts of your body move as you inhale. Maybe it's mostly in your chest or your shoulders. Wherever you notice that movement happening with the breath as you inhale and exhale, you can move it a little deeper. Inviting that next inhale into your belly. And perhaps allowing a sigh on its way out. Noticing on the next inhale that your front and back side expand, and an even deeper breath. And perhaps drawing, exaggerating a little bit as you exhale, getting every last breath out. And on the next breath in, perhaps allowing even your sides to expand. Noticing how your breath can move every inch of you. You might take a moment to notice if anything has been calling for your attention, whether it's something that you're worried about in your mind or something in your body, whether it's some tension or pain. You might like to invite your breath to that part of your body as well. And when you're ready, you can bring to mind in your mind's eye or by lightly bringing your gaze to the card in front of you, the Ten of Swords tarot card. If you prefer to meditate with your eyes closed, you can simply see what parts of the image come to mind. There's no need to remember every detail. And just notice how this image makes you feel in this moment. The Suit of Swords relates to the element of air. Air relates to the mind, to thought, communication, our sense of curiosity and clarity. And the number 10 relates to completion, to culmination, climax. There's potential for moving on here. There's also that moment of having reached some sort of rhythm, a rhythm that's been going on for a long time. In the nines, we discussed the sort of the pinnacle of the suits reaching that maximum potential and achievement. In the tens, we're ready to move on, but we might remain here for a long time. And so this month we're exploring the tens through the theme of tradition. And tonight we're exploring the Ten of Swords as the tradition of air. And the intention of this meditation is to explore how personal habits or patterns can become self-imposed traditions. So take just a moment now to set your own intention, to open your heart and mind to whatever wisdom may arise just for you. And if you're still gazing at your Ten of Swords tarot card, or either in front of you or in your mind's eye, know that you are welcome to do nothing but this for the rest of this meditation. I'm going to offer some invitations, but you're welcome to ignore them and just sit with your card in contemplation if you prefer. So we're going to do a little bit of a visualization. And something I found that helps me to visualize, I thought I would offer. Some people are more naturally visual. It might not be a visualization, just an imagining, is to put my one hand on my heart. And you don't have to do this, but you can if it feels welcoming to you. Something I like to do sometimes, especially if I'm feeling vulnerable, is to put one hand on my heart and one hand on my belly. And these are two vulnerable places. The position that's demonstrated in the Ten of Swords tarot card can be a relieving position to take, to lay on one's belly, because it protects these vulnerable places. You may fall into a calmer sleep laying on your belly than on your back, because those vulnerable spots are protected. But if you're in a position where your front side is exposed, I invite you to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly and see how that feels. Noticing on one hand how you can feel your breath moving. Your belly expands and contracts, all on its own without any thought or effort from you. And likewise, you can feel on the other hand how your heart is beating, all on its own without any effort from you. Taking a moment just to notice that your body is safe. You're physically safe right here where you are right now. Regardless of any other fear or worry that might have been on your mind when you arrived to meditation. I invite you to imagine that within your mind you hold a wide open sky. And within the sky, clouds begin to drift. Each carrying a memory, thought, or some feeling tied to personal failing or disappointment that you have experienced. Take your time just to notice the physical quality of these clouds. You don't need to name them. You might know immediately what each one represents. You might see a choice that you made and regretted drift by. You may observe a mistake you repeated multiple times. You may notice a fear that you still carry with you. Just allow the clouds to come and go at their own pace. And I invite you to notice how these clouds differ. Maybe how a fear looks different than a regret. And these thought forms may be small and wispy. Others might be heavy and dark. And as you sit back observing, just begin to notice if any kind of pattern emerges. Are you noticing any common threads? Anything that connects one cloud to the other? And as you contemplate this, notice that the clouds begin to shift, begin to align themselves into some larger shape all together. Just notice the clouds are coming together and they seem to be forming something new. There's no need to force any specific result. Just notice what's happening. Just notice what you see, what you feel. Until eventually some character or figure, perhaps a guide, emerges from these clouds, embodying the essence of the pattern that was contained. And if you don't understand what you see, just No, you don't have to have the answers. Just notice what this figure looks like. How do they hold themselves? How do they adorn themselves? Notice if this figure is familiar to you, or is it something new? If it feels right, allow this figure to step forward out from the clouds so that they're standing right before you. Notice that you can feel this figure, this guide is here to help and not to judge you. You might take a moment to greet them, either silently or aloud. And ask them anything you'd like to know. You might ask, what have I been trying to learn by living this pattern? You might ask, what has kept me in this cycle? You might ask, what will it take for me to move on? Take the next moment to listen for their answers and to ask any other question that's arising in you. As we get ready to transition out of this meditation, just take a last moment to ask your guide one more question, or ask them for some sign or symbol that you can take with you, or simply thank them for their wisdom. If there's some other part of this meditation that you would like to carry forward with you into the rest of your night, the rest of this week, take a moment to hold that now. And take as long as you need to transition out of this meditation so that you can hold on to that quality that you would like to maintain. Otherwise, slowly coming back to this space. Perhaps finding some small movements that bring you back into your body. Whether it's welcoming a deep breath or some wiggling of the fingers and toes, kind of stretch or yawn. Anything that brings you back to your body, to this space. And taking as long as you need until you're ready to move on with your day.